Today I'm here with a very special guest, Daniel Rubin, a close friend of Chuck Fox. Is that correct?
That's correct. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Chuck birthday interview. I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay, we're recording.
Recording what?
I don't know. Stuff.
Hi.
Hi, Chuck. It's me, Greg.
3, 2.
If I had to describe Chuck in one word, it would be energetic.
There are so many one words that I could use to describe Chuck Fox.
One word for Chuck is passionate.
I'd say inspiring.
Speed dial.
I think my one word would be exceptional.
Integrity. Chuck is somebody who very much approaches every interaction with a sense of integrity.
Describe Chuck in one word. Gary from Veep. No, just kidding.
My word would be loyal, but I thought about using salty.
I'm gonna go with annoying.
In all seriousness, the one word that I would use to describe Chuck is loyal.
Hilarious.
So I say annoying because you can never be ahead of him on anything. There is no way to out-Chuck Chuck. He's always there before you and arrived at the right decision or the right place before you have.
Describe Chuck in one word.
One word. Magnanimous.
A little bit above my vocabulary.
Because you're an idiot.
Passionate. I would say that Chuck is a very passionate person. He just feels big. He feels big and it's so amazing.
It defies the laws of physics.
He's like never ending.
What type of friend is Chuck?
Chuck Fox is the best kind of friend. He's the kind of friend who asks a lot of questions. He's the kind of friend who remembers answers, remembers little details. He's the type of friend who takes a vested interest in his friends. And he's the type of friend who is really easy to laugh with.
Honest, caring, direct, funny, witty, and never forgets a thing, which is why we have such a good friendship. I remember nothing, he remembers everything, and he reminds me.
He is kind, he is generous, he tries to be a great listener.
He is a great friend, incredibly supportive, and always there for you, no matter what.
You kind of stole some of my words, but I will go with devoted, honest, and always interested.
What type of friend is Chuck? The best.
My best friend.
Chuck is amazing and one of the most unique friends I've ever had.
I'll just say that he is supportive and caring, and it's not just words for him.
But most importantly, he's extremely loyal and know I can always count on him to be there when I need a friend.
And this is going to sound cliche, but Chuck is one of those friends who would do anything for you. And I think people will say that about a lot of friends, or a lot of people will say that about their friends, but I can honestly say that Chuck is the one who absolutely, literally would do anything for a friend.
It's wonderful.
I'm just really glad that he's my friend.
Chuck is the most amazing husband. There is not a day that goes by that he doesn't tell me how crazy he is about me.
What type of father is Chuck? He's the type to put my needs, my sister's needs before himself, no matter what, and he'll do literally anything to ensure our happiness and security.
Does Chuck have any funny habits?
Yes, he definitely has some very funny habits.
I would say a funny and annoying one is that he corrects everyone's grammar.
Other than running a meth lab out of the basement of his house, I can't really think of any funny habits that Chuck has.
But what, of course, I find really funny is his constant quoting of movie lines in regular conversation. It always cracks me up and always seems to fit the context.
Chuck is what I call a speed eater. And what I mean by that is if we go out to eat, when the server sets our plates down, I will look down to take my first bite, and by the time I look up, Chuck's plate is empty, like completely empty.
When he asks if I'm hungry and I say, no, I'm all right, and he'll bring literally every possible option from the pantry to the table to make sure that I'm fed.
He really thinks in numbers, which I kind of like to tease him about. So for example, if you ask Chuck like, oh, what'd you do today? Or how was your bike ride? It's not only, oh, it was amazing and I went over these hills and, but it's like, it was 15.237 miles. I drove 34.2 minutes to get there. It's really quantified. It's, when he's talking about his kids, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see Sydney. I'm going to see her in like 2.35 weeks.
5359262.
He's a genius, right? He's a genius.
What do you tease Chuck about? And we actually both came up with the same answer.
Yeah, we'll say it together.
Okay, yeah.
We don't tease. Try that again.
Try it again. We don't tease Chuck. He teases us.
Even though he went to Harvard Medical School and can save lives, he has very little common sense.
That he refers to pants as slacks and always needs to have slacks with him, when he's traveling somewhere.
He packs too late for trips and he arrives at airports way too late for flights. One day it's going to bite him in the ass, and I eagerly await that.
I tease him about the weak moment he had when he said yes to being the next president of a synagogue, and especially his insistence that it won't be too much work, it won't take too much time. Yeah, good luck.
Taped an ad to my locker in 11th grade for an anti-sweating device.
I love to make fun of his little tics, and we call them isms. And one of my favorite things is he has very big, almost one might say dramatic reactions. You'll hear him curse very loudly from downstairs just because he stubbed his toe, or he'll gasp out loud as if Taylor Swift died or something, but really just one of his favorite players was traded to another team.
The funniest thing Chuck has ever done was during my internship year when I was on call all the time and falling asleep everywhere, exhausted, but I didn't want to miss anything and I wanted to hang out with, the crew. But this one time we were at someone's house and I fell asleep on the floor. I woke up to Chuck straddling me and molesting me, basically.
My favorite thing about Chuck, there's many things I love about Chuck, but I would say my favorite thing and the thing that I fell in love with was that he makes me laugh.
Easily my favorite things about Chuck Fox. I do love his sense of humor. The guy's got just a wicked sense of humor. I love that he always seems to have a recommendation for TV shows to watch or movies to see. I also love that he's just the type of person who tends to go into every interaction not needing to be the first to speak and listening to others.
His uncanny work ethic, how much he loves the people he's close with, and his laugh.
My favorite thing is that he never forgets anything. He remembers every little factoid that has ever gone into his brain.
The main things are that he truly cares about you, about who you are, about what makes you, what makes you tick, and what you care about.
I think my favorite thing about Chuck is his laugh. I love it. It comes easily, and it kind of starts with this real heavy laugh that then proceeds into a cough.
Mm-hmm. I like that too.
My favorite thing about Chuck is his willingness to try new things. It means that he's always learning and growing and just becoming an incredibly interesting person to talk to as a result.
But I will tell you what I like best about Chuck is, well, there's a lot of things.
No.
Yeah, no, but there are. There's, first of all, you're so well-spoken and you can say and write things in a way that most people can't, and it's so amazing. When I die, I want you doing my eulogy.
ChatGPT.
Yes! Chuck GPT.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. We just have a new
yeah.
website idea. Let's do it.
But Chuck has the best laugh I've ever heard. I love how it builds from a smile to his face turning red to tears building in his eyes, to complete combustion and near suffocation. It's amazing and infectious, and I love it.
So my favorite thing about my dad is probably how he expresses love. I love his love language. He's really big on words of affirmation, time spent, I would say acts of service too. Like, he's very expressive, but the way that he shows love, he always tells people that he cares about how important they are to him and what he loves about them, and he's always made me feel really special. And I think it's really rare to have a dad that is always reminding you like how amazing you are and how much he loves you. So I think that has definitely set a high standard for me when it comes to dating and like what type of men I look for. So I think how he expresses love to me and how he expresses love to my brother and especially my mom, that's probably my favorite thing about him.
Do an impression of Chuck. Yes, I hear you. Take 2 Zantac and call me tomorrow. Also, no, I don't treat children.
Hey, buddy. No, that's cool. Don't answer my call. I didn't want to talk to you either. Give me a call back whenever you get to it. Bye.
A good impression of Chuck would be, hey buddy, NFL football, fantasy football, fantasy football, NFL football.
Are you open to some feedback?
Oh my god!
What's wrong?
The Patriots released BenJarvus Green-Ellis.
Oh my god, I thought somebody died.
When he hears something that's funny, when he hears a joke, he doesn't just gradually smile, the smile just explodes on his face, like this. Just be sitting there and then...
The laughing, the coughing, the turning bright red, but the best was the Fruit Loops. The Fruit Loops and the milk that just emerged from his nose.
Do an impression of Chuck. Okay. It's been about 25 years since you last caught me on video doing this, so I think it's time to do Chuck turning the tables on Rabbi Bell of blessed memory in a way that only Chuck, who was as charming as it gets in high school, could pull off. Rabbi Bell. Charles, can you please read the homework out loud to the class? Chuck. What did you call me? What did you call me? That's it, I'm out of here.
Let's see. Describe Chuck's best qualities. He cares. He perseveres. He fights.
This is hard because Chuck really has very, very many amazing qualities.
Loyal, dependable, empathetic, and caring.
You know, at the end of the day, Chuck, we're so lucky to have you. You're so generous and loving and kind and, you know, make so much possible for our family, and just being near you and having you be such a big part of our lives and us be such a big part of your life. It just, it's remarkable. See, that's my word. I had to use it at least once in the video. So I love you so much.
Chuck's best qualities are that he is fiercely loyal to his friends and family, that he's incredibly smart and interesting, that he has a great sense of humor, and that he loves to laugh, and he really appreciates every single day and doesn't take a day for granted.
Among Chuck's many best qualities, I really love the fact that Chuck tends to analyze problems before he throws out solutions. So many people with whom I sit tend to hear a problem and they'll say, oh, I've got an idea. And before the person's even done expressing the problem, there's people volunteering solutions. That's not Chuck. Chuck takes in the facts, he listens, he analyzes, and then he offers what he believes to be an acceptable solution.
He's such a good friend. And not just to me, to everybody. He's devoted, he's loyal, he's considerate.
Every day after school, when he would get home from work, even though I know he must have been exhausted from his day, he would still find the time to play sports with me for hours. And looking back at that, he has no idea how much that meant to me, and it really shaped who I am today.
But one time I will never forget, and illustrates the point I think I'm trying to make, is Chuck offering to and then staying with me in my apartment the night before my father's funeral. Not many friends would have thought to ask or offered such a meaningful gesture. That was 20 years ago, and Chuck hasn't changed.
If you are lucky enough to have a friendship with Chuck, just know that he's got your back in any way that you need.
He is kind, he is gentle, he is attentive, and he tries to be just the best person that he can be.
Is the way that he makes everyone around him feel so special. He's also really caring about everyone. He wants to make sure that everyone feels like they have a place. I think that's why he's a really good leader at Temple Sinai. He's a really good fit to be president there, and that's also what makes him a really good dad. He's very sensitive and very understanding, and whenever like he can tell that I'm off a little bit, he always checks in on me. And I guess like that's my favorite thing about him. I also love, again, like how adventurous he is, how brave he is, how hardworking. I wish I was as hardworking and diligent in school as he is like in work or school or Temple Sinai or whatever it is.
Chuck has many amazing qualities, and I've already mentioned so many of them. But one thing I really appreciate is his ability to step back from our hectic lives and offer some perspective. It'll be like the day of his wedding, and he'll take me aside and give me some little insight into his thinking at that very moment, or tell me why Gladys was invited but Grace wasn't, or in the middle of the SATs why you think you got a boner, or something random like that. Okay, I'm kidding about the boner part, but
generous to a fault, there for you, intelligent, funny, great sense of humor, and great father and husband.
We love you, Chuck.
No, we do love you, Chuck.
And happy birthday, Chuck.
Love you.
Happy birthday, Chuck.
Happy birthday, Chuck. You are an old man now.
Happy birthday, Chuck.
happy birthday, Chuck. I love you very much.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, Chuck.
A message from me to Uncle Chuck is to have a great time with family, to spend a lot of time with family, to get good gifts, I hope you have good gifts, and to hang out with the family as much as you can, to have dinner with family, have fun with family, have a golden birthday.
We love you. Happy birthday, Chuck.
Happy birthday, man.
Is this a good activity? Love you.
Happy birthday, Uncle Chuck.
I want to raise an extra spicy margarita to you, and cheers to your birthday. Best wishes to you today and always. I wish you health and happiness and all good things with a lot of love.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you so much. You mean more to me than you could ever understand.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you.
Happy birthday, honey. I love you so much. So glad that you're finally 50 along with me. I know I'm older.